Well, there's been a lot of talk about security around the Super Bowl and the weather. But what do we expect to happen with the game itself? CBS Sports writer Reid Forgrave joins me now from Bloomington, Minnesota, to talk all things Super Bowl. Okay, Reid, history really isn't on the side of the Eagles. They lost to the Pats Super Bowl 39 back in 2005. What do you think they need to do to really pull off an upset?
As much as we want to talk about this game being about the greatness of Tom Brady and the greatness of Bill Belichick, to me what the Eagles need to conquer in order to win this game is the greatness of this Patriots defense. That is the most underrated aspect of this Patriots dynasty. Over the past 17 years, they've been in the top 10 in scoring defense all but 3 seasons. Their absolute worst season was still an average NFL season. So how do they do this? It's actually pretty simple. They call it the Patriots way, and it's as simple as 11 men doing their job and making sure they cover for their teammates. I had one Patriots defender tell me this week that their defensive philosophy isn't go out and make one great play in a game. It's make 70 good plays in a game, and that equals one great game.
You make it sound so easy, Reid. 70 good plays in one game?
It is. Yeah, come on. You can do it.
I do want to talk to you, though, about the quarterbacks. It's hard to talk Patriots without talking Tom Brady. 5 Super Bowl rings. Nick Foles, I mean, he spent the past 2 seasons as a backup. It's kind of like the most lopsided quarterback mashup in Super Bowl history.
If Nick Foles wins the Super Bowl, he will be the most surprising Super Bowl winning quarterback in the history of this league. He started 3 playoff games. He was a bench player, a backup quarterback until December when Carson Wentz tore his ACL. It seemed at that point that the Eagles' season was over, but Nick Foles has performed capably and at times spectacularly. The way that he played in the conference title game against the Vikings, he looked like Tom Brady. He looked like a Hall of Famer. You got to always wonder, though, when you have a guy who's played in so many Super Bowls against a guy who's never been there before, experience matters so much in this game.
You know, if you're a Patriots fan, Tom Brady is the last person since Jesus to walk on water. But, if you're talking about whether he wins on Sunday, I mean, are we going to go through these conversations again about where he stands in the list of all-time great athletes?
No, that doesn't sound like something that sports writers would do at all, right? We don't like to make completely meaningless lists. No, of course not. Look, there's been this conversation in the week leading up to the Super Bowl. If he wins the 6th Super Bowl, is he the greatest American athlete of all time? It's crazy to think that anyone could ever beat Michael Jordan. There's so much nostalgia to Michael Jordan. There's so much swoosh and Nike to Michael Jordan that it's almost, to me, impossible to overcome the branding of Michael Jordan. But remember, Tom Brady, we think he's at the end of his career, and there might be it's certainly the end of a chapter where his offensive coordinator and his defensive coordinator will leave after this season. But the fact that he says he's going to play 5 more seasons, get a couple more Super Bowl rings after this one, that's going to be a very serious conversation that I think we're going to have in America for decades.
Wow. Patriots tight end Rob Gronkowski. This bothered me, I got to say, as a mom. We know he suffered a concussion. He's now cleared to play. We know concussions appear to be at a 6-year high in this league. How exactly is the NFL handling this?
Look, this is an existential question for the NFL. The big headline from a couple days ago was when Justin Timberlake said he's not going to let his 2-year-old son play football. And I think a lot of parents feel that same way. You worry about where the pipeline is, because if parents don't let their kids play football in high school, where will the next generation of football players come from? Now look, the NFL has done a lot to tackle this, what I'd call an existential issue. The fact that Rob Gronkowski was knocked out of that game and not allowed to go back in is a huge step in the right direction for this league. But there are plenty of, look, we see them every week in the NFL, hits that go unflagged, or you get a 15-yard flag for a guy that gets knocked out of a game. Those helmet-to-helmet hits need to be taken out of this league. The league's worst nightmare is to have that sort of awful concussion play that makes 100 million people watch it on TV, their stomachs turn.
Absolutely.
For that to happen in the Super Bowl is the worst nightmare for this league.
Yeah, I can see exactly why. And parents at home watching it with young kids, as myself, it makes us a little bit anxious. But I got to go to the juice, the big focus of this. Who are you picking for the Super Bowl here?
Look, I got a big surprise for you. My prediction for the Super Bowl is Eagles 13, Patriots 37. The surprise was that I switched the teams on you. I think this is going to be a blowout. It comes down to me, as much as we can make this game about other things, it comes down to Belichick and Brady, the two greatest of all time at their respective positions, against a guy who was a backup quarterback 6 weeks ago and a guy who's on the stage for the first time in Doug Peterson.
You know, America does love an underdog, Reid. You never know what could happen.
America does love the underdog. America doesn't necessarily love reality, but we got to live in reality here. It's Tom Brady. It's the Patriots. They have a dominant defense. Come on, right?
It'll be a great game nonetheless. Reid Forgrave, thank you for joining us.